Orchid lovers are descending on the Bronx here in New York City for a dazzling display of some of the most gorgeous and popular flowers on the planet. Elaine Quijano takes us to the New York Botanical Garden.
There's a tropical rainforest taking root in New York City. At the Botanical Garden's annual Orchid Show.
Oh, just gorgeous.
Francisca, do these flowers grow in Trinidad?
Yeah, I remember these beautiful epidendrums.
The show is designed by Francisca Coelho, who was inspired by her childhood in the Caribbean.
So I grew up in Trinidad among the rainforest plants, and I really loved playing in the rainforest as a child. When you go into a rainforest, you look and see where plants actually grow, what's growing up in the canopy, what's growing low on the ground, and what strikes you as you walk through the rainforest.
There are more than 30,000 naturally occurring orchid varieties. Add in man-made hybrids, and that number is 150,000.
So beautiful.
And they don't just grow in the rainforest. In fact, orchids can be found on every continent except Antarctica. As a result, they have fans around the globe. They are the most popular potted plant in the world and sell for anything from a few dollars to one that sold for around $290,000 at auction.
Yeah, these are my kids, essentially.
Mark Hachadorian has been growing orchids since he was 10 years old.
Scientifically, orchids are considered to be amongst the most highly evolved of all plants because of the specialized relationships they have with their pollinators, which can be anything from hummingbirds, bees, flies, you name it.
One of the most unusual orchids is the Darwin star, with its white flower fragrant only at night, and its 12-inch long tail with nectar at its tip.
When Charles Darwin was presented with this orchid, he actually theorized that there was a moth with a tongue long enough to reach that nectar. 40 years later, the moth was discovered. And there's a moth. It's only got a wingspan about 4 or 5 inches that actually has the longest, I guess this is sort of a fun reference, the longest tongue-to-body ratio of any organism on this earth.
And if the science behind orchids is fascinating, their beauty is spectacular.
Orchids have a long-standing history of being these very mysterious and exotic blooms, and I think it's that legend and lore throughout history that's helped build the plant's reputation and sort of elevate it to the status that allows us to celebrate it.
For CBS This Morning, I'm Elaine Quijano, the Bronx, New York.
Anthony, what does an orchid look like that's sold for $290,000?
I was going to say, this is not the $290,000
Yes.
orchid. And as a killer of plants, a professional killer of plants, it would terrify me to bring that home because I would kill it.
You should take it home and say to your wife, I was thinking about you today.
Oh, nice. Thanks for helping out.
You're welcome. I would kill it too.